Hello and welcome to another video on our animal health series. My name is Mark Armitage. I'm the shop manager here in Liffey LM Ennis, and I'm also one of the responsible persons for animal health products here. In our last video we talked a little bit about flies in cows out grazing, and in this video today we're going to talk about lungworm, otherwise known as HOOS. So what is lungworm? Well, lungworm is a parasite that attacks the lungs and the respiratory system of cows, goats, sheep and many more animals. The way it works is it's on the grass as it's grazed. It gets ingested into the animal. It moves from the digestive tract into the lungs, into the alveoli of the lungs, through the lymph system. When it gets to the alveoli, it starts to move up towards the bronchi of the cow. When it gets there, it lays its eggs, they get coughed up, and then they get re-ingested again. They get passed through the digestive system and they hatch as larvae then in the dung. And these larvae then are re-ingested by the animal and the whole cycle starts again. So that cycle can take about 8 weeks to happen. So even though you mightn't think you have lungworm at the moment, it's important to know that they could be there. They just mightn't be showing clinical signs of having lungworm. When trying to determine if you have lungworm, the easiest thing to do is listen to your animals. So you'll hear a coughing if they have lungworm, because the worm is causing such stress in the respiratory system. But just because animals are coughing doesn't necessarily mean they have lungworm. So you sort of need to validate your claim by either doing a fecal egg count. Now, a fecal egg count won't always give you correct results with lungworm, because the lungworm won't show up until it's about 8 weeks old in a fecal egg count. So you could be leaving yourself open for that period beforehand. You can do a lung wash, which is carried out by a vet, and they'll be able to see if there's lungworm present. Or another thing is, if you're in a milking situation, you can send off a sample out of your bulk tank to your local co-op, and they will be able to do an ELISA test, and that can detect the presence of lungworm in the animals. So how do we control lungworm? Lungworm can be controlled quite easily. As animals get older, they build up their own immunity to lungworm, but for this immunity to occur, they have to be exposed to lungworm at an early age, and their own body has to experience some sort of reaction to it. There are plenty of products out in the market that will cover for lungworm. Any of the three main worming groups that we sell in any of our branches will control it. In some situations, it might require a specialist wormer, so it's important to get the right information if you are considering worming for lungworm. So in a dairy cow situation, you can be quite concerned about some of the products being used, because some of them are licensed to be used in dairy cows, but they might have withdrawal needed on the milk. There are some products out there that don't need a withdrawal on the milk. These products tend to contain eprimectin. So this can be found in the Epri Zero or Eprinex. These are pour-on products that can be applied onto the back of the cows. There's another product there called Epris, which is an injectable form of eprimectin, and that can be administered to the cows as well. The Epris is quite a nice one. It comes in a 100 cow pack, quite easy to use. Roughly, in terms of cost wise, it's around $4.10 an animal to give them a course of the Epris. In a weaning situation, you're sort of open to a lot more products, obviously, because you're not as concerned about the milk withdrawal. So traditionally, a lot of the yellow drenches or levamisoles were used to control lungworm. These are still quite effective on lungworm. So that's what's in the Levifast Diamond. It's also in the Leviside low volume. It's a yellow drench, so it has to go down the neck. It used to be available in other modes of action, but that's not around at the moment. The next group of products then are your products that contain albendazole or fenbendazole. These products are known as white drenches. So these products include products like Albex, Tramadol, Endospec, Fastinex. All these guys can be given down the neck, and they'll have quite good control on lungworm, and they can be used in a weaning situation. Then your other products that you could use are your ivermectins, or your ivermectin group of products. Generally, we try to avoid using these out of grass at summer. They do have a persistency effect in them. So if you dose with an ivermectin injection or a pour-on, not only will it worm the day that you administer it, it also has a persistency effect in it, which is quite useful in some situations. But we like to use some of the ivermectins when we're going into housing. So if we use them at grass, we're sort of losing their punch when we need them at housing. It's important to note with lungworm, every situation is different. So to get the best advice on what's suitable for your situation, your best practice is to contact your local Liffey Mills branch and speak to the responsible person there. They'll be able to steer you in the right direction. So look, there's a small bit on lungworm. Obviously there's a lot more detail in it, but if you're looking for any more questions or if you have any queries on anything we talked about in the video, contact your local Liffey Mills branch, talk to the responsible person there, and they'll be able to answer any of the queries you have. So thanks again for watching. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages. That's where any of these videos or future videos will be coming up. So yeah, thanks again for watching.